Hi, friends. Welcome back to Brave New Frontier, where we chat about all the most creative people in the world and how we are doing our creative thing. Thank you for being here. I'm Gabi Batel, and today with me, I have Laurie Nash, who is the founder of SOCII, Society of Catholic Imagineers and Inklings, and they are a group of crazy Catholic teenage writers, artists, and other creative minds who band together to create and compete with fun and original works of art. Videos, stories, photos, you name it. I have had a blast seeing their work, and I am going to have a blast right now getting to talk to Laurie. Hi, Laurie. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm great. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to have you here. All right. So, to get started, now I know that we are going to get to talk about your philosophy, the philosophy of your group today, and I am super excited for that. But, kind of as a precursor, let's hear the backstory. What is the origin story to this philosophy that you have for SOCII? What was the personal moment for you when just everything changed and you knew what you wanted to do and you knew how to go forward or anything like that?
Yeah, so it was a cool story. So I think I had this idea in mind for really probably 1 to 2 years before I started it. And at the time, I was like 13 or 14 actually, and I was working on a really overly ambitious project by myself. It was a animation thing, and I was so just pouring my heart and soul into it, and I ended up having to quit because it was just too ambitious and too stressful, and I was just it was kind of my baby, so it really hurt to quit. But what I had learned through doing it is, gosh, it's so hard to create alone. Like, it's so hard to, I'm doing this whole thing by myself. I'm writing, I'm animating, I'm doing all this stuff. And I was like, this is not fun. Like, I'm having fun with the creative part, but like, I want to do it with other people. So, and I'd been kind of telling myself, like, oh, well, when I finish this movie, I'll sort of showcase it and it'll be my pitch to my friends and be like, okay, we can do more of this. But it turns out I didn't really need that pitch. I could just, present the idea. And so I remember it was 2 summers ago, or like not last summer, the summer before. I had met this girl, Lizzie, through a play I was in. Now she's one of my best friends. So, but we had just met, and she's my co-founder. We co-founded it together, and we were sitting in the pool. It was a pool party, and I was pitching her this idea. Oh, this creative group we could do. I don't know, and she was like, "Let's do it." I was like, okay, sure. And so I started getting ideas, and she helped me get it off the ground. And so it started with like 5 people in it. But over the past 2 years, I think we now have like 40 people who are, some of them are super involved, some of them are not as much involved. But so it has grown so much. And I don't know, I'm just so thankful. I've gotten to work with everybody. It's been a blast for the past 2 years.
It sounds like a blast. And can I just say, first of all, how impressive it is that you decided that you wanted to start animating at age 13 or 14? Because, like, I just got a hint of maybe I want to try out an animatic now myself. And then I started and I was like, this is impossible. So just bravo on that ambition. That's so awesome. And then also bravo that you were able to figure out, like, so an early time, I can't do this by myself because me and my stubborn self, I just have for the longest time tried to white knuckle it myself. But you have it going. You're like, I can't do this by myself. Creativity is not like a solo flight. So good for you. So, based on that, tell me a little bit about what it is that you're building. Tell me about your brand. Tell me what you guys are. I want to hear more about this group that has grown so much from you and your friend in a play to 40 people making all these stories and these short films.
Yeah, so it started with one messy Google Doc. And I was like, everybody just throw your ideas on here. And I thought we were going to do like a lot of group projects. Like, okay, maybe we'll write a script together, whatever. And what really ended up working for us was contests. So we would do like a monthly or every other month contest, and people loved it. Like, it was such a hit that we kept going. And I would say the two sort of pillars of the community are competition and collaboration. That's what the community exists for, is really the collaboration aspect of feedback and sharing ideas and sharing talents. And then the competition aspect is you're sort of motivated. You have a reason to create, which I was finding. I was like, there's all this stuff I want to do, but like nobody's going to see it. Like, why would I even? So it sort of gives people a reason to create, other people to see it, and it also motivates them to do their best so they can sort of beat other people, not in a, selfish competitive way, but in a you're motivated to be better because you're trying to be the best. So I've found that really cool. And now actually, so we started out with a lot of contests, and now I feel like we're maybe transitioning more into group projects again. And so because the contest people are busy, and I think we're shifting into a different kind of collaboration. But the contest has been really amazing for this group. It's sort of what got us started, and yeah, that's what got us going. And then just we share, somebody will be writing a story and say, hey, can you guys be the beta readers for this? I want feedback. Or what do you think of this artwork? Like, it's just such a great thing. And it wasn't exactly what I thought it was in the beginning, but it's taken on a life of its own. And I love how far we've come.
That's so amazing. And yet again, the things that you have figured out, like you knew this early on about the competition and the collaboration. I mean, over at Legend Fiction, we more relatively recently started with everything that you were just talking about the competition and how that encourages people to like get involved. There's an incentive to do your best, to do really well. And you got that down pat already. Now, I have a question for you. This is a little bit off the books. I want to hear a little bit more about how you do like a joint project, because I'm going to be frank, I have done one joint project in my life. It was required for college and it was a big fat hot mess. So tell me, how do you do that? What, like, do certain people have certain things that they specifically work on? Do you all kind of brainstorm at the same time for everything? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So I will be completely honest with you. I am not an expert on this. This is something I've really struggled to figure out, like, how do you really make it work? I'm trying to think if we've had, like, how many really successful group projects we've had. It's not a lot. We've definitely started some, but one thing I've learned, and I think this is something I need to take responsibility for, is like, everybody will have a great idea, and we're like, let's do this. And then we'll get on a Zoom meeting, and we'll talk about ideas, and nobody's like, I haven't really figured out what I want, because I'm the leader, so I'm expected to direct everything, and I haven't really done my homework on it. So I'll just be like, hey guys, give me ideas, and people are like, what are we really doing here? So one thing I've learned over a lot of failures is, yeah, you really have to do your homework, figure out what you want, and then say, okay, everybody, what ideas do you have on this specific thing? So I can't really give you a lot of tips other than like really know what you want and seek out people who are really good at certain aspects of the project. So that's one thing. They've done some stuff for contests. Hilarious group of three sisters, the Cutters. Just some of the funny, like, their videos are so funny. It's unreal. They're such funny people. So that's their strength. So if we ever did a project, with humor, or like a skit or a short film, I'd be like, okay, you guys tackle the comedy aspect. Somebody else will tackle the directing or the writing or So I would say, like, know people's strengths and then do your homework, but I can't really say, yeah, and that really worked for this. We're still figuring it out how to make it work, but we've had some attempts.
Well, I mean, that's great because, just the fact that what to aim for, what to reach for, how to improve, that's half the battle. And then, of course, the other half of the battle is going in and trying it. And even though you have the know how, you somehow still can't quite manage to do it. And so there's trial and error and getting better. But just the fact that you have this vision and that yeah, okay, so there needs to be one person who knows what the group is kind of going for, and then kind of, oh, the word's not coming to me, but divvy out then the specific tasks to people where that's their strength. Because I mean, it's kind of like a movie. What you're describing is how they make a movie. They have the director who has this vision of, okay, this is the story that I want to tell, that we want to tell. But the director, even though they may know about camera angles, they might know about lighting and makeup and acting and script writing, they are not an expert in each of those, but they have that talent for being able to kind of gather people together and hone them all, hone the camera person who is going to do his own thing, who is going to bring his own creative beauty to the process. and just hone that toward the goal and scriptwriter and the lighting and the costumes and everything. So that's really, really great. All right, last question I have for you, which well, not the last question, because I still want to talk about your philosophy, but I think you kind of have been sharing a lot about that. But what is something that you're doing that nobody else is doing? What is specific about you guys and SOCII that nobody else is doing?
I'm trying to think what I know we've got answers, but I know I've got an answer for that, but I'm trying to think what is the biggest thing that stands out. I would say it's probably just, I mean, and I think legend fiction is doing this too, but the community where that's I guess you in brands that would be our superpower. And I was thinking about this the other day, like, audience, there's a grow your audience. Well, I think my audience sort of is the group. Like, sure, we're trying to, market ourselves and get people to know about us, but it's kind of like this is the group serves the members at more than, anybody watching our YouTube videos. Or so I would say that our strength is in the community, and that's that's what's unique. It's also that it's not like a business or anything. We're just sort of trying to be the best creatives we can, trying to grow our craft. So that's the most sort of unique thing we can think of. And other than legend fiction, which is pretty similar, I really don't know any other groups like this. So I would say we're pretty unique. We're not. I get bothered by explicitly Catholic art. Not all of it, but a lot of it is so preachy or so like it just gives me like ooh. So we're pretty much all the members are Catholic. I think almost all of them are, but we really don't try to put that into the work. We're just trying to create great art. And so I think it's just our shared values and our community and how we're collaborating and making this work.
That was exactly what I was thinking. I was like, when I asked this question, I was like, well, your entire concept in itself is completely unique. I mean, what would I have given when I was a teenager to have a group of young Catholics who loved acting and who loved writing and who loved art and animation to be a part of that? There was no such thing. And now you've done it, and you've done it specifically for teens, which is so cool, and you're doing so well. So just 1,000 kudos. And yes. So I want to hear what you have to say about your brand. What's the philosophy? Just chat me up. Tell me.
Yeah. Okay, so part of the philosophy is the collaboration and competition. That's definitely the pillars. I would also say, so it goes into the name. We've never figured out how to pronounce it. So everybody calls it like SOCII jokingly. I think it's supposed to be like SOCII or SOCII. But so there's no official pronunciation. But
I kept calling it toasty
I like that it was Latin. Yeah, I think that's, calling it just the letters or however you want to say it. There's no right or wrong. But I really wanted something Latin because Latin sounds so, professional and prestigious, especially for a creative group. Mm-hmm. So it's Latin and it means allies in Latin. So we're sort of, creative allies. Yeah. So that was an awesome part of it. But I'm so inspired by really two groups of people in our name. The Imagineers, which was Walt Disney's crew. They were the ones who pioneered animation. Snow White was the first full-length color film, and they built the Disney parks, and it was Walt Disney had this vision, and all these people with different talents sort of came together and made it happen. So that's very inspiring to me. And then the Inklings, which were J.R.R. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, some of their friends, they would all get together at this pub. They nicknamed it The Bird and the Baby. I forget what the real... Oh, it was The Eagle and the Child. But they would all get together at this pub, and they would just toss around ideas about stories, and that's how Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia and all those works of art were born, through that fellowship. So that was really my inspiration for this, of we want to have this community of, collaboration and bringing people's talents together. So that's a big part of the philosophy, and I also really want to give people an excuse to create. Here's a reason to create, because you have people to see, you have feedback, and just get better and keep seeing what you can do and where you're failing and where your strengths are. I really just want to, and for anybody watching this, like, I want to say, like, you can do it too. Like, if you are creative in any way, and I think people a lot of times define creativity as just, painting or writing, or you can be a mechanical creative. You can be, creative with your business or your spreadsheets, or like, whatever your talents are, whatever that kind of creativity is for you, you go out and do something with it. Go use that. Like, we've done this. Now everybody can do it. Like, I that's what I really want to inspire people to, do this too.
That is fantastic. And I think that's a fantastic place to wrap up. Thank you all for being here today. Again, Laurie Nash, SOCII, excuse me, Society of Catholic Imagineers and Inklings, doing fantastic stuff for Catholic teens and just creators. And I am so happy to have been able to have you on here. Thank you so much for coming to chat.
Yes, thanks so much for having me.
Of course. All right. Till next time. And as Laurie Nash and all of her Imagineers and Inklings always say, create recklessly. Go for it.